Hey guys, hope you're doing well and have a good weekend. So yeah, I'm gonna ramble on a little bit before I get into the meat of the subject. By the way, the main topic of this video, I'm gonna be talking about the future of my business, some of the plans that I've got in the process of doing in terms of growing my business going forward, and my thinking behind that. I've even got, I guess you saw the title, showing the land that I'm looking at. So obviously, I give you an idea of what's going on in my thinking and what I'm planning on doing potentially. But yeah, before I get into that, guys, I'm actually here now in what I call my happy place out here on the back porch. I got a fire going. I love fire. I love campfire. I love everything to do with fire. That's one of the main reasons why I decided to do firewood, is because I enjoy cutting and splitting it. And I just love being out here. As long as it's not too cold. Or obviously, I don't like doing a fire when it's hot, but as long as it's fairly cool and not too cold, I love coming out here watching the TV. Got my Christmas tree over here in the corner. It's just like an outdoor den, really, outdoor living room, and I love being outside. Obviously, I think we all love being outside doing what we do. Yeah, I got my two dogs, Bobo. You got Bobo. I think Ray Ray's got Sweet Pea. I got Bobo, and this is Teeny. She's a mini dachshund. Bobo was supposed to be a mini, but he turned out to be a regular size. But you can see how small Teeny is. And I could fit, if I had a purse, I could fit her in a purse if I wanted to. But anyway, they both love these dogs. They primarily stay outside. They like to stay outside. But we'll bring them in, obviously, when it's cold at night. I also have a cat. And I got, by the way, I got my son here. As you can see, he's my son. I love my son here, Braylon. He's 9 years old, but got a cat inside. Rocky's his name. Braylon actually picked him out of a shelter last July, I believe is when it was. Yeah, not this July, but the previous July. It's a little over a year ago, about a year and a half now. We've had Rocky, and we love that cat. Absolutely adore that cat. He's super, super friendly and outgoing. He's not the type that just hides away underneath the bed or whatever. But anyway, hey, listen, guys, I'm gonna ramble. I might ramble on a little bit longer. The main topic, guys, like I said, is talking about my business going forward. And I'm really at that crossroads. I was mentioning in one of Ray's videos, I commented a few weeks ago when he was talking about scaling a business. And again, kind of reiterating on his video, if you're going to scale, you're going to have good employees. No ands, if, buts about it, for sure. And we all know, if we're being honest with ourselves, in this day and age, it's hard to find good help. Okay, I mean, consider yourself very fortunate if you've been able to grow a business and you've got a good set of employees, because once you find them, hey, you got to make sure you're paying them well and keeping them happy, if you want to keep them on. If that's what your vision is, if you want to have a bigger business where you're obviously going to be making more money dealing with employees, you're going to have good ones. You're going to have to take the good and the bad when it comes to dealing with employees, guys. But yeah, with Ray's video, got me thinking, and I mentioned this to him in the comments about me personally with my business being at a crossroads. Okay, so here's the deal. So I'm at that point in my life now where I'm doing well. I did a really good job earlier on in my career, my business, when I first started really getting going, so to speak, where I would take my money that I would save up at the end of the year and I'd invest it in the stock market and that sort of thing. And I did a really good job of doing that. So obviously, anybody that's had money in the stock market over the last several years, since '09, which is basically when I started investing, I actually got really fortunate, very blessed that I started investing in the stock market when I did, back when, right after the crash in '08, I started investing the next year when the stock market was at its low. And essentially, it's obviously been going up ever since. So yeah, I've made some really good money, especially in Apple. I've had that particular investment's made me 10 times plus my money since I invested in it back in 2013. So I'm doing really well personally, financially. I've done really well as far as the equity in my house. So I'm at that point now where I feel like I've got an opportunity. Do I stay where I'm at? And I'm doing really well. And overall, even with just one full-time guy, Justin, and the part-timers that I've had, I wanted to have two full-time guys, assuming James was going to show up. I thought he had the potential to do that, but he didn't want to come to work, so it didn't work out. So right now it's just me and Justin, and Hunter's been working some, and I got another guy that I'm going to be trying out this week. That could be a good part-time. He is going to school here at Auburn, but he's a freshman, so he could be with me at least part-time, maybe full-time in the summers, depending on his schedule throughout the year. But regardless, guys, if you want to scale your business, if you really want to take it to the next level, you're going to have to find good help. So that's really where I'm at, okay? So here's the deal. I want to make this point, and this is something that I tell myself, and I try to, talk to myself and remind myself about the importance of being content where you're at, okay? So I'm very content, where I'm at overall, but I feel like I'd be doing myself a disservice if I didn't at least try at my age. I'm not quite 40 yet. I'm not a spring chicken, obviously, anymore, but I still, I'm 39, not quite 40, in really good shape for my age especially. So I felt like I got that opportunity to take the business to the next level. So me and my wife, and obviously I've been doing a lot of the thinking on my own, but obviously anytime if you're married, you've got a family, you're going to have to bring your wife into the discussion in terms of your plans when it comes to your money you'll be spending and, what you're thinking. So obviously my wife has been in talks, we've been talking about things together in terms of what we want to do. And, yeah, I'm going to go for it, guys. I think I'm going to try to scale my business from where it is now. I mean, essentially, I'm basically operating this business out of my house. You've seen the 2 big trucks, 2 Isuzu trucks that I have, and all the mowers. I've got 7 mowers. Luckily, I got a 3-car garage, so it's not that big a deal, guys. But I'm really at that point now where I can't grow here at this house, okay, here at my house. So I really need a shop. I feel like I really ultimately need a shop if I'm going to grow. So that's really, I guess, one of the main points of this video is the fact that I am looking at building a shop, because I've already decided that I'm going to try to take this business to the next level. I feel like I know what I'm doing. I feel like I know what it takes. I've learned a lot over the years. Instead of really trying to grow quickly, which I maybe could have done earlier on, I've grown slowly, surely over the years. Each year I've made a little more money than I did the previous year. And since I started doing 2 trucks, I've really increased my revenues and made more profit. And got to give Justin a lot of credit because he's really helped, done a good job last 2 years. Frankly, since I started paying him a salary, I haven't had near as many issues. But that's another subject for another day. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to go for it for sure. So the wheel's been in motion. I've been thinking about various situations, scenarios that I could go about doing with my wife, and thinking out aloud, and just what I think is best in terms of doing that. And again, y'all, I can't grow where I'm at now. Okay, I just can't. I can't add any more trucks. Maybe I could, but I'm in a HOA here at the neighborhood, and I don't want to tick the neighbors off by add more trucks and vehicles. And frankly, this is something, guys, that me and my wife has discussed ad nauseum, in terms of new guys especially. Now, it's one thing if you know the guy and they've been working with you, coming to your house and knowing where you live, but it's a whole ball of wax when you got new guys coming to your house and you got a family, a wife and kids. You obviously, as a man, you're always looking out for your family and wanting to protect your family and provide for them. But yeah, me and my wife, especially my wife, but I mean, same here. We don't like the idea of new people that may be coming to work for me, working for me, knowing where we live necessarily, because you just never know, guys. I mean, the guys out, let's just be honest, the guys in this industry aren't always the best guys, a lot of times. So that's just telling the truth, So you guys know that. You just never know, the type of person that you're going to hire and maybe working with. So until I get to know somebody, I really don't like the idea of people knowing where I live. So that's a big thing, So yeah, me and my wife had talked about that. She's been on me about, bringing people over that I'm not familiar with or she doesn't know, knowing where we live, because you just never know, guys. So yeah, that's a big bone of contention. Not really contention. We both agree with it, but that's something big. I feel like if I had a shop, I would feel more comfortable about bringing new guys in or trying them out, okay, and without them knowing where I live, right? So I think that makes sense. I'm sure y'all agree with that, especially if you have a family, you don't like the idea of, guys, you don't know very well knowing where you live, where your kids sleep at night, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I agree with her for sure. And I would just feel more comfortable, guys, about hiring more help, trying out more employees if I had a shop. Okay. So that's where I'm at in my business, guys. I feel like I got to have that shop in order to scale, in order to hire more help, and just try and see what happens, y'all. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at now, guys. You saw the picture on the cover, the title there, the land, and actually after this clip, I may take a couple breaks in between, guys, but I'm gonna have a clip or two showing the land I'm looking at for the shop, guys. So yeah, I feel like y'all find that interesting, and I'll be interested in your opinion, what you think in terms of the land itself. I mean, obviously, I feel like it's a really good piece of land, but I'll be curious what you think, guys, in terms of once you see it yourself. Let me know in the comments. And again, guys, I want y'all to tell me if y'all think I'm on the right track or if my thinking is right. Personally, obviously, I'm going to assume that you're going to agree with me for the most part, but I am interested in your opinion because you guys honestly have helped me as much as I've helped you, I'm sure, probably more so. It really, doing these videos got me to thinking about various business related aspects that before I wasn't doing YouTube, I didn't really think about as much. But all in all, it's really helping me make my business better. And that's what I'm here doing now, explaining to you what I feel like I got to do to make it better and to potentially take it to the next level. So yeah, y'all. Again, I'm content, but I feel like I owe it to myself to at least try. Let's try. If it doesn't work out, if I'm able to find that help, I can always go back to where I am now and be fine and doing really well, that kind of thing, guys. So yeah. So here's the deal. And after I explain, the two scenarios that I've discussed with my wife, obviously I've already explained one that I'm leaning towards doing, but my wife and I have actually had discussions about buying some land because we kind of like the idea of maybe having a house or building a house on several acres of land, kind of out in the country, and not being in a neighborhood like we are now, which we love the neighborhood and don't have any problems with the neighbors. We're in a good spot. As you can see behind me, I got woods behind me no one can ever build, so we like it. And it's not an issue living here at all. But we've talked about that possibility mainly because we feel like if I got a lot of land and we put the house on it, I could potentially build a shop, okay? I could build a shop on that land where the house is located too, which kind of defeats the point of what I just mentioned in terms of employees know where I live. So that's kind of an issue, obviously. But that's something that's I could potentially do. So that's an option. So I can either do what I mentioned before and buy a commercial piece of property that I could build a shop on, a standalone shop for me, or two, buy some land out of the country where we could build a house and sell this house. Obviously, that would help the amount of money that I've got in it as far as the equity, and invest the equity and what I've got saved up into building a new house along with a shop. So yeah, that's my options, guys. Does it make more sense to do that, or does it make more sense to do what I feel like I should do and buy some commercial property to build a standalone shop on? So yeah, y'all be thinking of that. And I'm gonna take a little break, throw some logs on the fire, and I'll go ahead and put the clip of the land that I was mentioning, just so you get an idea of what I'm dealing with, and we'll discuss more once you see the land itself. But anyway, hope you're doing great, guys. Talk to you soon. Hi guys, so I'm here now at the property I was telling you about. I just figured I'd give you a good view of it, and then we'll discuss more in terms of my plans for it and what I'm thinking. So yeah, here we are at one end here. As you can see, there's already some buildings on the left side of it, and it goes all the way down. You can see it's got a lot of road footage basically to that building there at the far end. So yeah, that's actually where I'd probably put my building because there's a little bit more room, it's a little bit wider. So it's going to offer me a little bit more things to do with it in terms of using my firewood or storing it there and operating that portion of the business there. But as you can see, it's got a lot of road footage. I'm not sure how many feet, but probably at least a couple 100 yards from here all the way, like I said, to that building there behind it. I'm not sure exactly where the property line is, but it's pretty close to where those trees are right behind that building, if not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, it goes fairly deep, as you can see. All in all, it's 2.4 acres of land, so a pretty good bit of land here, you know, for me to build my shop and several others. So yeah, again, it's right in the middle of town. Really good location, so I really like it. But yeah, we'll discuss more about it. Y'all just let me know what you think. Figure I'd put this clip in there, just kind of show you the land itself. It's all ready to develop on. Don't have to worry about clearing a bunch of trees off. It's pretty flat, so I think it'd be pretty easy to grade and all of that. But yeah, let me know what you think, guys. I think it's a really good piece of land. As you can see, obviously it's got the buildings on either end where there's some businesses already here. So it's be a matter of me, you know, building my shop and potentially building several other ones, or maybe even like a storage building, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll discuss more here in a minute, guys, after this clip. Just wanted to show you the land itself. Hi y'all, so I'm at the other end. I figured to give you a view of the other end here next to the building y'all saw. So yeah, this is where I would want to build my shop. It goes pretty deep back there, guys. So I'm standing here at the road. As you can see, there's the shot of the other building from where I was at earlier. You see, it just narrows as you go down, and it's probably a good, I don't know, to the end there, to the edge of the property, is probably a good 80 to 100 yards. I'm assuming that's the property line there, right past that power pole, looks like. So yeah, I got a good bit of land here, you know, that I can put in my shop. My shop right here is what I'm thinking. Again, it's the biggest part of the parcel here in terms of land itself. So yeah, I'll have a lot of land area for me, you know, to build a, you know, good sized shop, however big I want it to be. And on down the road here, I mean, I could even, you know, I could build shops, or, you know, I could, you know, sell it, you know, the part of the land I don't use. So yeah, there's options. Yeah, I just thought I'd give you a view of the other section, you know, from the other end, I should say, the land itself, just let you see it. So yeah, we'll discuss after this clip. Hey guys, so I'm back. It's got me a drink of water, and I was actually just had a conversation with my dad earlier, and it's actually talking about some of the things I mentioned on the previous clip before you saw the land there. Yeah, I can't underestimate the importance, you know, a father-son relationship, and I have an awesome father. I've mentioned that before in previous videos, and me and my dad are really close. And anytime I've got something important going on in my life, something similar to this or whatever it may be, he's somebody I can always talk to and discuss things with. And that's exactly how I want to be with Braylon and Maddox and my daughter Emery as well. I want to be that dad, that father that, you know, my kids can come to in the future as they get older, in times of need, you know, whenever they feel like they need, you know, someone to talk to or advice from, that kind of thing. Hopefully, you know, I'll be able to give them that, you know, good, you know, fatherly advice that my dad gives me. But anyway, y'all, hey, listen, let's talk about it. So yeah, before I bring up, you know, the actual land itself, I'm actually dealing, my realtor is actually my former baseball coach, Coach Cooper. He's retired from his administrative job. He's a principal not only at my school, but he ended up moving a few years. It may have been before I graduated, I can't remember, but he was actually my baseball coach, my head baseball coach, my freshman and sophomore year, I believe. And then he went on just to focus on administration and being a principal. I think he moved to another school, maybe after I graduated or before I graduated. I'm really not sure. Coach, you had to be listening. You can always correct me when we talk. But anyway, he's done a really great job, guys. So yeah, if you're ever in a similar situation, rambling a little bit, make sure you got a realtor you really can trust, guys. Someone that's really helpful, and Coach Cooper's actually really been very helpful of finding out information you know, and you know, getting numbers of builders and just talking to fellow realtors and gathering up as much valuable information as possible, you know, to help me out. You know, ultimately I'm the one that's going to be, you know, calling certain builders, and I've had to talk to my banker Bart, you know, about various things. So there's a lot that's going into what I'm thinking about doing. It's not, you know, a simple project I got going on. There's a lot of steps and a lot of investigating, or a lot of thought, and you know, talking with various people about various things that are going into this. So yeah, I've already been doing a lot of that, and still got a lot of thinking to do. I'm not in a rush. That's one good thing. I'm not in any kind of rush. I'm just frankly gathering as much information as I can possible in order to make the best decision for me and my family and my business going forward. So yeah, I've got a very hot fire now. I actually threw in some hickory. Hickory's probably my favorite wood overall, guys. There's not a lot of hickory around here. Or at least I haven't had a chance to cut much up. But it's a great, obviously it's great firewood and great cooking wood. I cooked some steak on it last night, and the flavor of the steak was great. But anyway, yeah, enough rambling about that. It's pretty hot, I might back up. So y'all saw the land, guys. So what did y'all think? I mean, and again, y'all tell me, am I thinking right? I'm assuming I am. And I mentioned this to Dad too, and got his thoughts, and he agrees with me. I mean, don't y'all think I'm better off buying some commercial property to build a standalone shop as opposed to buying some land to building a house on it with a shop, which kind of defeats the purpose of, you know, having guys know where I live, right? And, you know, I had to end up selling this house, which I've got a really good, you know, right now my mortgage is right around $1,100, which ain't that bad for a house this big. We got a lot of equity. I put a lot of money down on it when I first bought it. So, and the interest rate is low. So, I mean, if I sell this house, I'm going to have to get a new mortgage and all that kind of thing. So, those are all things I'm thinking about and making me think that buying this commercial property is the better decision. You know, I'm just curious if y'all think the same, guys. Eddie, Ray, you know, Ben. And by the way, Ben, I'm praying for you, buddy. I know you're going through some stuff, really in my thoughts, and I have been praying for you for sure. Hope you're doing well. If you haven't been tuning in, by the way. But any of you guys, feel free to comment and let me know if you think I'm thinking correctly, because I'm really interested in your opinions for sure. But yeah, y'all, I mean, y'all saw the land. Y'all saw me point out the section of the land where I could build a shop for me, and I think that makes sense, putting on the section, the widest area, where I'll have as much land as possible at my disposal to do what I want to do with it, and to be able to, you know, be able to move around, you know, and do different things, and, you know, operate my firewood side of the business, you know, maybe behind the shop in that area toward the tree line there. So that's kind of my thinking. And then if I do that, okay, if I do that, guys, so if I buy that land and I build the standalone shop for me, so obviously I can do that, but I got the rest of that land where I got two options. So the first option, I could always sell the land that I'm not using, right? You know, I could resell that land that I'm not using, that obviously the shops I'm on that I don't need. You know, I could zone it to sell and make some money, maybe make a lot of the money that, you know, I invest into buying the land now back, you know, in the future, assuming the value goes up, which it should. So I can do that. Or, you know, I can build other investment style properties, right? So that's kind of my thinking. I mean, that's a great area of town. I mean, it's right in the middle of Opelika. You know, you got 280, which is a very busy very busy road that leads to the interstate that can take you to Auburn and take you to LaGrange, Georgia, or there's the main road that goes through Opelika that takes you right to Auburn. So there's some main roads, thoroughfares, I guess is the right word, that can take you to various towns, various cities if you were to have a shop there. So that's kind of my thinking. I could build other shops. Maybe I could build a storage unit. A lot of options, you know, a lot of options in terms of the types of properties I could build with that amount of land. So the land itself, guys, is 2.4 acres. I think it's like 2.37 acres. You saw it there. I mean, it's already cleared off. So unlike the land I was looking at that I mentioned before in the video, it's already cleared off. You can see it's fairly flat. So I'm not gonna have a lot of costs associated with clearing the land off with a bunch of trees and all that kind of thing. The utilities are already there. And again, it's just in a really good centralized area of town, you know, so to speak. So I feel like it's an ideal location, not only for me because it's in a centralized area, but it's also relatively close to my house. I'm probably maybe a mile or two away, probably 2-3 miles away. So relatively close to my house. So I'm not gonna have to travel that far in between my house and where I would have the potential shop at. And you know, there's not a lot of people that driving by there. So that's the discussion I was actually having with my dad. He was like, well, don't you want to be on a road or in an area where there's a lot of traffic? Well, not necessarily. I wouldn't think. Maybe that could be an advantage, but you know, my thinking is most service-related businesses, right, guys, they don't really care about, you know, a bunch of cars going by. They just want a good centralized area, centralized location where they can store their stuff and operate their business from and have room to, you know, to grow, maybe add more equipment, which is exactly what I mentioned before. Just my inability here now, where I'm at now, my house, my inability to be able to grow going forward. So yeah, I mean, that's what a shop's gonna do. And I don't necessarily have to do that right away. I can go ahead and buy the land, build a shop for me, and then in the future, as I make more money, you know, build additional shops, additional spaces to rent out. So not only would it be a great piece of land for me to build the shop on, but it could be a, you know, really good potential money maker for me going forward, guys. So yeah, that's something that I'm thinking about as far as the future. You know, another avenue to make more money. Not only, you know, I've already got my business that I make money through. You know, I've got the stocks, my investments I have personally, where I reinvest my dividends. That's what I'm doing now. I'm reinvesting on my dividends. I don't actually have the money coming to me from those dividends. I'm having it reinvested, so that pile of money is growing, and I could potentially have this, you know, this avenue of potential income for the future. You know, as I get older, and it could be, honestly, it could be something that I could, you know, give to my kids one day. You know, that kind of thing I could hand down to my kids to help them out, you know, financially making money, because there's always going to be a big need, right, for service-related shops, that kind of thing, guys. But yeah, that's my thinking, y'all. I mean, obviously it's not gonna be cheap. I'm not gonna mention any kind of numbers right now because you just never know. Again, I'm in the process of gathering information as much as I can. You know, I'm not gonna make any kind of hurried or rash decision. I'm gonna go about it in a very smart, methodical way in terms of gathering up all the information I need to make a good decision. But I really feel like the potential is there for me with this particular property, you know, to really be able to grow my business, my lawn care business now, you know, going forward in the future, which is really the premise of this video in terms of what I'm thinking in terms of growing my business going forward, guys. So yeah, that and the income, the ability to produce income with that piece of property, with the excess land I won't be using, that I could build, you know, additional shops or whatever it may be, like I said before. So yeah, I think there's just a lot of potential there, and that's why I feel like that's ultimately, you know, a better decision as opposed to building a house on a piece of land with a shop on it attached. If that makes sense, guys. I just think it makes more sense, and you know, the money making, earning potential that property has. Now it's going to cost money, and again, I don't want to mention any figures in terms of the cost of the land itself, because you never know. Maybe the landowner happens to find out who I am, and they, you know, find the channel or whatever, and use that to their advantage. You know, the fact that I am interested in it, for sure. There are some other properties, by the way, if you happen to be listening, by the way. Probably not, but yeah, there are some other properties I'm looking at, but this particular property here, I feel like makes the most sense, for sure. And again, guys, I want your opinion. I want your thought. Yeah, I feel like, you know, I'm making the right decision. You know, as far as my thought process, I haven't made a decision yet. Again, I'm gathering up all the critical useful information that I need in order to make that good, thought out decision before I do it, that kind of thing, guys. But yeah, I want to know your opinion, guys, because I mean, you guys can't say it enough how thankful I am for you. Over the last year since I started doing YouTube, and just that. Even though I haven't really met any of you, other than Steven, my buddy Steven likes to comment. I haven't met a lot of you, or any of you, other than him, that have commented. But I mean, I feel like you guys are almost like friends to me now. I think Ray actually talked about today in a video getting my email so I could give him my number, talking to him over the phone. Which I mean, honestly, I feel like I know him already because I've been watching his videos for so long. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Hope this video is helpful. If you're in a similar situation that I'm in business, maybe this is helpful to you. But again, y'all always be thinking, especially this time of year when we're not super busy, be thinking about things that you can do, to help your business going forward. Make it more profitable. Some things that maybe you haven't done a good job of, and be willing to look yourself in the mirror. With something I'm doing as well right now, and admitting maybe where I'm making mistakes. Maybe when it comes to hiring, I'm going to be trying out some various things with ZipRecruiter. I've mentioned maybe looking into Indeed. I'm going to be looking at some hiring sites, websites, as far as maybe hiring a new employee or two. So yeah, there's some things that I haven't done a really good job of this year and previous years that maybe I could definitely have done better job of. But yeah, y'all, we always got to be willing to look ourselves in the mirror, look back at the year that was, and just think to yourself, could I have done better this aspect of the business? I know we talked about raising prices. That's something I'm getting ready to do now, raising those prices. There's particular customers I'm not really sure I even want to do their yard anymore. I'm always looking at route density, making that route and that density tighter. So I'm thinking about maybe letting go of some customers as well that aren't particularly in my route or in my densest area, as far as my customer base is concerned. So I'm potentially letting go of some customers that are kind of a little bit out of the way. So there's all these things, guys, that you can look at with your business, going forward. This time of the year when you got a chance to really relax a little bit and really think things over. So that's what I'm doing, guys. Hey, listen, I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, comment, guys. Y'all let me know, am I thinking right? What do y'all think about the property? The investment potential, all that. Y'all let me know what you think. But anyway, again, I appreciate you. God bless each and every one of you guys. Ben, I'm praying for you. You guys pray for Ben. Keep him in your prayers. Eddie, Doc, you got to be watching. I know Doc and Ben are pretty close. But yeah, keep him in your prayers, guys. I know he's struggling, going through some stuff. We're like one big family, lawn care family. So appreciate every one of you guys. I hope you have a great week. God bless you. Talk to you later.